Luke, you know, to be fair, we've talked about Ulster a little bit, and I think we've both been impressed. I know you've kind of talked a lot about them needing to get some of their key guys fit, which is obviously always crucial. But as Jonathan said, there's been some other kind of younger players who've stepped up that have caught my eye as well. Like Zac Ward, obviously coming in from Sevens, has been really, really good this season. I'd be interested to know what you've actually made of him in particular. But other guys, like, you know, his brother played well the other night. Cormac Isashuku was back fit. He got man of the match against Connacht. He looked very good against Munster as well, I thought. Obviously Henderson back as well. He played well on Friday night too. What have you made? Like, what's your kind of latest thing about how you found Ulster playing, and Zac Ward in particular? Because obviously as a wing yourself, like, you'll be able to give us an insight.
Yeah, so look, I think, interestingly enough, right, I think it's nearly cemented my view on what's really important for Ulster, which is to get their kind of experienced guys back. I think that's what lifts or gives guys like your Zac Wards, like your Bryn Wards, these guys opportunities to play well, because they're playing next to Izuchuka, they're playing next to Henderson, they're playing next to Bell, they're playing next to Doak, who's not being shifted around different positions. They've got a solid 10 in there now who's doing a pretty good job, I think. He looks like he's growing into the role. You have the likes of Hume back, McCluskey's back. Like, that's the key thing for us. Stockdale's in there. And that to me is still the key thing. That's what makes Ulster. This was always been a good Ulster team. I think they've had some good coaches. I think they've got a really nice young Irish. I love this setup. I really think it's a really nice setup. I'm really glad that this is going well, because I have to say last year it didn't look so good. But if they can continue to get guys on the pitch, I think this is a good team. And I think they're looking like they're well coached. They look like they're playing with confidence. I think no Champions Cup is a good thing for them. I think it allows them to kind of settle in, bed down some kind of. I think it takes a little bit of pressure off the likes of a Sexton. You know, he doesn't come up against a really hot kind of French team away from home where it can get ugly. And I think he gets to kind of get the players get used to him, get used to his ideas, and they can kind of build something. I think they are building something. And, you know, if they do well this year, you know, it's a lovely platform to go and, you know, maybe, you know, get another high quality international player to add to the ranks, to build in kind of confidence amongst younger players. And then I think all these things, I think they give momentum to an organization. And if you see Zac Ward playing well, if you see Bryn Ward playing well, if you see all these guys, these homegrown talents kind of playing well, it encourages everyone in the academy. They can see a path to these things. So the whole organization gets lifted. It's like a rising tide, really, in my opinion. So I'm back to the same point. I think it's key to get your big players on the pitch for Ulster. I think it'll allow them to play some of these younger players and to give them confidence in a team that should be playing well. And I think it has a bit. They look to me like they've got a bit of an identity going forward, certainly, in my opinion. And look, what was also very pleasing from the weekend, and look, Munster were pretty shabby. It was a worrying enough performance by them, to be honest with you. But they were trialists. That's really important for Ulster too, you know. So yes, it was great to see them, and they've been good in attack all year. And of course, you're going to have to get points on the board. But what I was really pleased about was they didn't concede any tries. And in fairness, they could have scored another one. I thought that Stockdale one was very, very close. I mean, I wasn't sure that was the right decision, to be honest with you. But look, even still, very, very pleasing that things are going well up there. Some exciting talent. You asked me about specifically
Zac Ward, yeah, just because I suppose really with the Ireland squad being announced at the end of the month, you know, James Lowe's form hasn't been great. People are looking at Zac Ward playing on the left wing and they're saying, is there a potential place with him for Ireland? Is that too soon? What do you make of him on the left wing? Because obviously coming from a Sevens background, you know, he wouldn't have been, we haven't been watching him play for Ulster for that long. It was last year, was his first year post-Olympic. So like, what's your assessment of him as a wing and his potential prospects for Ireland?
Do you know what I really loved? I just love that he doesn't die with the ball. Like, he's very, very aggressive with ball in hand. He looked pretty tidy. You know, outside of that, he kind of, you know, was pretty accurate on around the ground, pretty accurate in contact, nice body positions, looks fast, he's big. Yeah, lots to like about him, Will. I to be honest with you, I haven't been watching him closely enough to really make a very informed opinion, but the bit I saw on the weekend, under pressure, difficult conditions for a winger, really, really nice. And that's a real confidence builder for someone like him. So now the key thing is, can he stay in the team? Can he stay fit? And can he build a little bit of that momentum over the next couple of weeks? Because of course you could force your way in there. And he's, as you said, like Lowe has been struggling a little bit, particularly defensively. He looks, you know, he's not himself yet. But we know his quality. You know, his strength. He's difficult to take down. He's got that big fend. He's got lovely ball handling skills. He's got that big cannon of a left boot. So we know Lowe is still he's not gone by any means, but he has struggled the last couple of weeks, I think, particularly defensively. And that might be all his fault, in fairness, Will. I think there was some good play. Munster had some good play against him as well. So it's not all his fault. So we'll see how he gets on the next couple of weeks. To me, he's a big game player. And, I expect him to kind of show up and put a good foot forward in the cup games that are kind of upcoming. But very positive, really pleased to see, and we're going to talk about Leinster as well, obviously, but some young Irish talent on the wings that look fast, that look aggressive, that look like they're, real athletes. So very, very pleasing. Delighted to see the likes of Ward coming through. I think the other thing I'd say is I thought Stockdale was really good. Yeah. Really, really solid, strong in the contact. I know he looked like he dropped that ball, but I think he got enough pressure on that to score that try. And he had some lovely touches around the pitch. And also, I think Ward can kind of, the way he plays a little bit, you can see a little bit of the Werner Koch type kind of, he's kind of physical. He's all action. He doesn't die with the ball. And Koch was
Koch is unbelievable. Koch, I love watching that guy play.
The last pop pass was good, but it was him who caught that ball on his knees and threw that pass to Stockdale for the one that was disallowed, that I think may well have been a try. He is just, I love watching him. He's one of those players, if he was in your team, I'd love to hear what Jonathan thinks of him, but he's a guy I love watching because he's just always in the thick of it, isn't he?
Yeah, Jonathan, what is he become a real crowd favourite?
Oh, absolutely. Like, you can see that sort of sense of anticipation whenever he gets on the ball, but also just his work around the breakdown, his commitment in defence. He's massively, massively popular, and you're sort of now seeing that groundswell of support behind him as people slowly realise that he's out of contract at the end of the end of the season. And as we all know, I suppose this is the time of year when these things, if they're not on the very, very precipice of being announced, they tend to have already been done months in advance. So there is sort of a concern amongst fans, I suppose, that he maybe wasn't getting the contract that he that everyone thinks that he should get. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there in the future. He was certainly coy about it whenever he was asked last week, whenever he was up for interview. But he's been part of a really great season for the back three in general. Richie referenced it after Munster in his press conference about the talk of the decline of attacking rugby, and reeled off the amount of tries that each of the back three have scored. Like, I agree actually with Luke mentioning Stockdale there. I do think whenever people are talking about Ward in terms of does he get past Lowe for the Six Nations, I still think Lowe will start in the Six Nations, and I would be surprised if Stockdale wasn't first change there if Farrell does opt to move away from Lowe at some point during the tournament. But I would be surprised if Zac Ward isn't in the wider squad for as well as he's played. And then Balogun was having a good season as well before injuries, just again.
So was Michael Lowry as well. They